Testing a mechanical fuel pump on a car. Testing a mechanical fuel pump involves a few steps. Let's go through them one by one, and I'll explain each process briefly. Inspection first. Before diving into tests, visually inspecting the pump for any obvious signs of wear, leaks, or damage is a good starting point. This can sometimes reveal issues without needing in-depth tests. Fuel delivery test 1. Disconnect the fuel line. Start by carefully disconnecting the fuel line from the carburetor. Ensure you have a container to catch any spilling fuel. Safety first, folks. Keep fire hazards in mind at all times. 2. Crank the engine. Have someone crank the engine while you observe the fuel line. If the pump is working, it should spurt out fuel in strong, consistent pulses into the container. 3. Fuel flow rate. The pump should deliver fuel at a specific rate. Consult your car's manual for the exact numbers. If the flow seems weak or inconsistent, the pump might be failing. Pressure test 1. Acquire a fuel pressure gauge. These can be found at most automotive stores. Connect it to the fuel line where it connects to the carburetor. 2. Crank the engine. Again, have someone crank the engine while you observe the gauge. A properly functioning pump typically delivers fuel at around 4.7 psi for most older carbureted engines. If the pressure is outside this range, it might indicate a problem. Vacuum test. Since mechanical fuel pumps often need to pull fuel from the tank, it's useful to check their vacuum capabilities. 1. Use a vacuum gauge. Connect it to the inlet side of the pump. 2. Start the engine. Engage the motor and look at the vacuum gauge. A good pump should show 10-15 inches of mercury, INHG. If it's too low, that's another indicator of a potential issue. Listen for noises. While the engine is running, listen for any unusual noises such as grinding or whining sounds coming from the pump area. These can indicate mechanical wear or impending failure. Inspect fuel filter. Sometimes, what appears to be a fuel pump issue could actually be a clogged fuel filter. Ensure the filter is clean and allowing fuel to pass through freely. Check fuel hoses. Old or cracked fuel hoses can collapse under suction from the pump, causing fuel delivery issues. Inspect and replace any that look suspect. By following these steps, you can identify whether your mechanical fuel pump is functioning as it should. If everything checks out, but you're still experiencing fuel delivery issues, it might be time to consider other components of the fuel system, or consult a professional mechanic. Remember, staying safe and making sure your car is properly maintained helps keep you on the road, enjoying every moment of your driving experience. Safe driving, folks. Scott.